Welcome back to class. And this morning what we're going to be talking about are the gifts of the Holy Spirit. This is called Releasing All the Gifts because we're going to be talking about all of them. Some classes you go to and it's just on prophecy or it's just on healing. And this morning we're going to actually look at 3 different lists of gifts, supernatural gifts that are in the Bible, and 3 different sources of these supernatural gifts. And as we do this, let me just mention that there's a lot of different perspectives. So maybe you have heard about the gifts for years. I'm thinking that today you're probably going to hear maybe something a little different, maybe a different angle here or there. Even if you've been to many, many different classes, there should be something you can pick up somewhere that we're sharing today. And maybe just tweak a little area, or it might be overall an expansive, new, growing experience, what we're going to cover today. So let's start with this. There are some people who actually don't believe you can teach the spiritual gifts. They believe this because they think of the spiritual gifts as something that simply activate themselves. You get into a really spiritual setting with lots of good songs and worship, and it gets hot enough, and it's sort of like a popcorn maker, and this person pops, and this person pops, and the gifts just turn themselves on. I call that getting enough of the Holy Spirit heebie-jeebies, and then you can't help yourself, and somebody has to get up and interrupt whatever's going on and prophesy or speak in tongues or whatnot. And that does happen, but there's an element that is more than just that spontaneous happening. Yes, that spontaneous happening does spontaneously happen, but there is also the aspect that these gifts are meant as empowerments. The word for gift is charisma, as many of us have heard, and that word at its root, part of it is empowerment. Well, it's not just a spontaneous, heightened service that then you're empowered for a moment, but this empowerment, it should be a part of our regular arsenal, our regular equipment that we're carrying, that we're involved in using. And so a few verses that help me as far as understanding that the gifts can be taught and the gifts can be learned. One, for example, is in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Concerning spiritual gifts, I do not want you to be ignorant." Well, one of the best things you can do about ignorance is teaching and training and learning. And so I think that is almost implied in what he's saying. Another one that's more clear is in 1 Corinthians 14, verse 31. It says, "For you can all prophesy one by one, that all may learn and all may be encouraged." So the option is there. It's available. Everybody can do it, and because everybody can do it, you can also learn how to do it. That's important because a lot of people have sat back waiting for it to drop on them or disqualified themselves. I'm not spiritual enough. I'm not ordained. I'm not whatever the qualification we come up with, and then we disqualify ourselves by that qualification. And yet this is available. And Paul didn't want anybody to be ignorant, and he wanted everybody can prophesy one by one so that all may learn.